So we just had the second of 3 60th anniversary specials released while Blue Yonder, and with that episode came a Flux mention, and I believe that this mention might actually be more vital to the 60th anniversary specials than we might expect. Before we get started, I will be touching upon events that happen in New Who Series 13, or the Flux season, the serial The Celestial Toymaker from the classic series, as well as the 2 episodes of the 60th anniversary so far. With that said, let's dive straight into it. First off, I think we need some background about the Flux season and what details I actually think from that season are going to be important for these specials. So we all know the Flux isn't just the title of the 13th season, but it is also a huge swarm of antimatter created from outside of our universe from the Doctor's adoptive mother Tecteun, set out to destroy the 13th Doctor. Well, the Doctor in general, but it was the 13th at the time, so we're gonna go with that. During the 13th season, we actually saw the Flux consume half of the universe before it was contained. We never received an answer on whether this was a permanent change and that the universe was gone until While Blue Yonder came out, in which we discovered that it was half the universe is still gone. This could explain why there's a lack of stars in the episode While Blue Yonder. It could also be that they're just at the edge of the universe, like they said. Within that season, we also find out that Tecteun is also the leader of a group called the Division, and this is actually situated outside of the known universe. In that season, we see a graphic of it literally centered in the middle of 2 universes, and that's the important bit of information we need, because we're going to be playing off of the fact that something exists outside of our universe for this to make sense. The Doctor says in While Blue Yonder,
if the universe is everything, then the concept of an everything having an edge is kind of impossible, but that's the language of 21st century Earth, and you don't know anything yet.
although he says humans can't actually comprehend a real edge to a universe, we actually get to see that in the episode Survivors of the Flux from the 13th series. As While Blue Yonder is set at the edge of the universe, it could potentially be this edge of the universe that we see in that series. We learn in the 13th series that these universes aren't actually parallel, but completely different universes entirely, with their own unique species and scientific laws. Now this is where the actual part of my theory comes in, because I believe the creatures we see in While Blue Yonder, fake Donna, the fake Doctor, they are actually from this adjacent universe that we see in Flux. That is what I believe. Everything fits perfectly with the creatures set up in this episode, because they don't abide by our general laws. For example, the mass situation, which I guess is sort of like the boneless maybe from Flatline in series 8, but also they have a line where they specifically talk about our universe like it isn't theirs.
But we would feel it from so far away. Your noisy, boiling universe.
Which to me just seems like proof like they aren't from this universe, at least. From what we see in the episode, these creatures aren't detected as life forms, but show signs of being our traditional life forms. On top of that, they somehow manage to get inside the ship with no real way in, which things from our universe can't really do. There has to be some way in. I truly believe that this isn't just a coincidence, and I think the mention of Flux, along with these creatures at the edge of the universe that aren't like anything we've ever seen, are intentionally placed there for Russell T Davies to give some hints at him touching on the Timeless Child and the Flux, and fully solidifying Chris Chibnall's run as a part of Doctor Who canon. I kind of see it as him kind of not planting roots necessarily for future, but building upon the roots Chris Chibnall left. And I know many people are not going to like that, but I think it's something that you kind of have to do. I think if you ignore it, it's not going to work as well. Anyway, let's continue on. Now we see the Doctor use a superstition in the episode to stall the fake Doctor and Donna, and he very clearly points out at the end of the episode that he really feels like something's going to go wrong because he did that at the edge of the universe. Potentially because someone might hear him, the Toymaker maybe? I'm obviously going to explain that a bit more, but this is definitely a reference to the Toymaker coming. I know you're all about to write comments saying, well duh, obviously, but I actually think it ties more into the content and visuals that we've seen in Flux, like I've been mentioning so far. Now I actually haven't watched the series of the Celestial Toymaker from the classic series. It's mainly because it's not complete. I really don't want to watch an incomplete story, but I thought I would do my research for this video to find out who this character is, how they captured the Doctor, how they got defeated, so we can kind of understand how they're actually able to come back in the 60th anniversary special. And in that serial, we are told that the Toymaker is an eternal being with infinite power, who uses people as his playthings in his own realm. At the end of the serial, the First Doctor tricks the Toymaker into winning the game for them, allowing the First Doctor and his companions to escape while the Toymaker's realm, or universe, gets destroyed. With this knowledge, we know the creature has their own universe and can unwillingly control and take people to go into that universe. And we also know that they are still there even though it's destroyed, so they're still in this external universe. Going back to the visual from Flux, what if this other universe, the one on the other side of the division, is actually the Toymaker's universe, and he, I guess, is sort of like the god of that universe? Hear me out, right? These creatures from Blue Yonder are perfect for the Toymaker. If his whole thing is he likes taking people, messing with them, tricking them, creating false realities, he literally has a creature in that universe that can be anything, like we've seen in this episode. I think it fits. If this universe right by ours is the Toymakers, I think it can perfectly explain how the Doctor was able to be taken in the first place, but also how when he escaped he was never taken again. Because how I see it is, if they're really close together and the Doctor flies right at the edge of one universe, then the Toymaker, because he is like the god of that universe, can feel from that side, take him. The fact that Toymaker was able to take the Doctor and bring him into another universe means they have the ability to pull things from other realms and universes. So if they are in this other one, I believe that if the Doctor was flying by the edge, that's when he got taken from the Toymaker into that other universe. And when he escaped, he just went too deep into it that the Toymaker couldn't reach him again. And I think this perfectly sets up the Blue Yonder theory that I have, where that's how the Toymaker came to be in this 60th anniversary special. This part of the theory is definitely less tight, but I still think it's reasonable. If this theory is correct, this is a perfect time for the Toymaker to make a connection across universes, and I think he definitely took that opportunity. At the end of Blue Yonder, we find out that the TARDIS lands actually a few days later than when they left in the Star Beast. I think it's all part of the Toymaker's ploy, and I think that the Doctor and Donna are actually going to be the only two real people that are within a simulation of their last memory of Earth. Hence why we land exactly where we left off, and hence why I think Wilf is actually there, because I don't think Wilf would be there in his condition that they've stated on his own, especially during this conflict going on. And I think he's there to have that emotional moment with the Doctor and Donna to kind of blind them a little bit, but also show to us that this is fake. The final scene of this episode to me actually felt really weird, because it kind of went from calm to world-ending disaster in an instant, and I feel like the Toymaker's fake world could be the reason for this. They have Wilf and have this really happy scene just to basically slap them in the face with all the disaster. I think it's definitely a potential thing that could happen. I honestly think the trailers support this theory with the fact that we see a scene of the Toymaker being like puppet master, and there's no way that can be in the real world, so I'm fully confident in this being a real thing. Now I hope you have all followed, because that is quite dense, but the theory is done. That is it. I know it may sound wild to other people, but for me it completely makes sense, and I really wanted to make this video because I never come up with theories, one, quick enough, and I never come up with any that actually have real merit, so I was like, now that I've got one, I'm gonna make a video on this. Unfortunately though, that is all I have for you today. Hopefully you enjoyed hearing this theory, and I don't normally make videos like this, so if you did enjoy, please consider hitting that like button, and maybe I'll try and make more videos like this. I would love to know your thoughts on this theory, but also some of your own theories, so make sure to drop some comments down below, and I'll definitely be reading them. If you have made it this far, I'm probably right in assuming you like or love Doctor Who, so why not check out my breakdown of the episode The Star Beast. I'm sure you will love it as much as you have enjoyed this, and thank you for watching.